I decided to make the tone more intimate, a little closer in this particular book because I had tried, in fact, to write a little bit of the book in the third person rather than the first person. I've only done that once before, and that was with a book called The Underpainter, and I did it for precisely the same reason. I could not get close enough to the character without using her voice. I couldn't get inside her head, and the same was true with the previous book that I used the first person in, and that was The Underpainter a number of years ago. And in that case, it was a male character, which was kind of interesting. I couldn't get inside his head without using his voice, the actual I word. The past was very important to me when I was writing this book, very important to my narrator. And yes, I believe Sanctuary Line is a lament, to a certain extent, for a past, irrecoverable past, a past that is lost and gone forever, and perhaps lost and gone forever because it didn't really exist in precisely the form that she remembers it, and that's part of what she's beginning to fully understand. She already understands it to a certain extent, but by the time she and we are finished with the book, she fully understands that. That kind of idealized past of childhood, you know, those golden meadows and wonderful sun-filled days that all of us recall to a certain extent. But also there's a very physical aspect to the disappearance, both in human and in landscape form. The charismatic uncle has gone, has vanished, has disappeared. But so is everything that kind of made the family in which Liz Crane lives or lived. And that is the agricultural life itself. The small farm is vanishing from our planet, never mind just the landscape of southwestern Ontario. It's something that is going, it's gone, and with it goes an enormous amount of mythology. I mean, right back to the classics, you know, and before. With it goes an entire way of life, and with it also goes an aesthetic, as far as I'm concerned, that relates to landscape. That the landscape of the small built farm with its barns, whether it be an ancient Roman granary or a timber frame barn in southwestern Ontario, and its handmade fences and stone walls, and its you know, handmade farmhouses, and its animals, its mixed farming, all of that. When that goes, an absolute change is going to take place, and it's starting to already in our landscape, so that fields are going to look like parking lots. They're going to lose their particularity. And I think that is, this loss of particularity, I think, is something that runs as an undercurrent throughout the book. There has been talk recently about how we should stop paying attention in a literary way to rural narratives and start paying attention to urban narratives. And I think that well, first of all, I don't think that we can determine what is worth writing about and what isn't worth writing about. I don't think that human beings have the right to determine subject matter. However, having said that, I do believe that it's still important. Well, of course urban narratives are important, but it's still important to pay attention to the countryside. We live in a huge country filled with enormous amounts of natural wonder, and natural wonder that's under threat. I fear that if we just toss the rural or the landscape narrative, we will at the same time stop thinking about it. And if we stop thinking about it, we're going to stop caring about it.